paralympian Oscar Pistorius' agent Petrus van Zyl at the North Gauteng High Court today. State Prosecutor Gerrie Nel began his cross-examination yesterday but requested that the court adjourn early so that he could better prepare himself. Van Zyl testified that Pistorius had planned to take his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp to two of his athletics meetings in Manchester and Brazil, which was the first time the athlete had asked a girlfriend to accompany him to sports meetings. Now, for the latest, let's cross to Chriselda Lewis, who, as always, is standing by next to the courthouse. Good morning, Chriselda.
Well, a very good morning to you, Eben.
Chriselda, before we carry on with the expectations today, I understand that there's been some exciting developments overnight.
Well, certainly, Eben, developments that relate to Oscar Pistorius at the 2012 London Olympic Games, where he shared a room with his teammate Arno Fourie. And you did know yesterday inside court there were several questions that State Prosecutor Gerrie Nel had asked Oscar Pistorius' longtime manager, basically Petrus van Zyl, when he asked him about an alleged incident that took place where Arno Fourie had asked to be removed from the room that he was sharing with Oscar Pistorius, and generally the insinuation was that Arno Fourie wanted to be removed for some reason, and some allegations that had surfaced was that Oscar Pistorius was constantly on the phone screaming at people, and that was the assumption as to why Arno Fourie wanted to be removed from the room that he was sharing with Oscar Pistorius. Now, overnight on his Twitter account, Arno Fourie issued a statement saying that he wanted to be removed from that room on the simple basis that he wanted to rest. He was saying that at the London Games, he wanted or in actual fact, he called his medical manager and asked his medical manager if the isolation room would be available 2 days before the final match, or the final games rather. And basically, he wanted to get some well-deserved rest, and basically also removing speculation that perhaps his wanting to be removed from that room had anything to do perhaps with Oscar Pistorius' behavior, and that he said that he enjoyed the time that he spent with Oscar Pistorius at the games. So certainly we'll wait to see what impact, if at all, it does have on the trial as it resumes today. We know that the State Prosecutor Gerrie Nel will continue his cross-examination of Van Zyl this morning.
Of course, Van Zyl's bias was pulled into question yesterday towards an athlete that is represented for 7 years now. But before that, acoustics expert Ivan Lynn also concluded his testimony.
Well, that's right, Yerban. Well, basically, Ivan Lynn's introduction to this case, you'll certainly see the defense wanting to bring somebody to deal with the evidence that was led by some of the state witnesses, Oscar Pistorius' neighbors, that they heard the screams of a woman coming from Oscar Pistorius' home. Now, you know the defense has always maintained that in actual fact that the voice that was coming from Oscar Pistorius' home was not that of Reeva Steenkamp screaming out for help, but they're saying that it was Oscar Pistorius, that Oscar Pistorius screams like a woman when he is in distress, and they claim that Oscar Pistorius screamed, it was a cry for help after he had realized that he had actually shot and killed Reeva Steenkamp and not the intruder whom he initially thought. So basically, that was the basis of his introduction to this case, to deal with those aspects. Basically, Lynn saying that there's no way that these state witnesses who claim to have heard those sounds, that they could have heard the sounds from as far as more than 170 meters from where the homes of these neighbors were. So that was the introduction, basically, of Ivan Lynn to this case and what he was set out to do.
And today, Petrus van Zyl will conclude his testimony. How does the rest of the day and the week then look?
Well, Petrus van Zyl will be cross-examined by State Prosecutor Gerrie Nel. You would recall that yesterday court had to adjourn quite early because the State Prosecutor said that he did not know, or he had no idea that Petrus van Zyl would take the stand, so he needed more time to prepare for cross-examination. So certainly today we're expecting Gerrie Nel to try and poke holes in this glorious, this all-perfect relationship that he painted between Oscar Pistorius and Reeva Steenkamp. You would know previously inside court, various state witnesses have come forward to paint a picture of a fractured relationship. So certainly what Gerrie Nel would want to do today is to question him further on Oscar Pistorius' character and try and get to the bottom of perhaps this glorious image that Petrus van Zyl, who has a relationship spanning about a decade with Oscar Pistorius, to try and poke some holes in to the testimony that he gave yesterday. And certainly, Eben, I must say, it's also been, quite surprising that the defense has brought a character witness so late into the Oscar Pistorius murder trial. And certainly some of the experts who we have spoken to say that it would be a last-ditch attempt by the defense to try and deal with perhaps the damages that the state witnesses that were brought, who spoke about an Oscar Pistorius who has, violent outrages and, basically does not treat women well. So that would be the defense's latest strategy as we see it, as we head towards the last leg of the Oscar Pistorius murder trial.
Thank you very much, Chriselda. Thank you for that update, Chriselda Lewis, on this very platform and all the other SABC digital platforms all of the time. She updates us on what's happening at court, to our court side, really.